Hi there, Mark Victorsen from Pacific Golf Club. Today I want to talk about what I see as the most common fault with club golfers and amateur golfers playing the game, and the majority of people, to be honest, slice. Okay, so this is what I see as the greatest contributor to that slice. I've got two swings up here on the video. One of our members, who you'll notice I've blotted his head out so we can't see who it is, and on the right hand side some images I took from the Masters this year of Charles Schwartzel at Augusta. So on the left hand side, this gentleman, who shall remain nameless, on its way down, the club shaft, you'll see, is starting to be thrown outwards towards the ball. The shaft is now in line with his forearm, left forearm, and at this point, when the club's parallel to the ground, the shaft of the club and his hips are almost perfectly in line. What does happen as he rotates his hips through? The club now swings to the left, causing either a top in this case, or with this particular person, a bit of a back foot open face slice. They see quite restricted because he's swinging across his body, throwing it across to the left, nowhere near down the target line. Now the guy on the right, Charles Schwartzel, on the way down, you'll see that on the way down the club shaft is not in line with his left arm at all. The shaft is now on top of his right arm on the way down, and the shaft of the club and his hip line are very different. So in fact, when the club is parallel to the ground, his hips and the club shaft are nowhere near lined up. There's quite a difference. In fact, I think it's around 45 degrees difference between his shaft line on the way down and his hip line. And of course, as he turns his hips, it squares the club face down on the target line, and he's hitting basically a little to the side of his hip line. He's not swinging with the club directly in front of him. This is that inside out swing path that people try and achieve, but they try and achieve it with the hip turn. The key to this is to get the shaft angle offset to the hip line at least 45 degrees, so that you can deliver the club from the inside path. As you can see, a very different finished position because it's dragged him out. Okay, so what we just saw on the way down with the person who was swinging incorrectly, the club's being thrown that way, and when the club shaft is parallel to the ground on the way down, basically in line with the person's hips, and then as their hips turn, it pulls the swing path across their body, creating this either a top or a slice, because they tend to leave the club face open as a result of that. So what we see with the good players is on the way down, there's this difference between the shaft angle and the hip. So it looks a bit odd. It looks almost like their club's 45 degrees offline, but as soon as their hips turn, the club's online. The very next thing that happens, the club's delivered to the ball, and they've generally got this beautiful draw shape or a straight ball flight. Not too many big slices out there on the tour. Hope this helps.